ドジャースの大谷翔平選手は日本時間9月17日、本拠地で行われたフィリーズ戦に1番投手兼 DH で出場をしました。中10日のマウンドに上がった大谷投手は5回球数68球を投げ、無安打、無失点、5奪三振、1四球という両軍を驚かせる圧巻のノーヒットピッチングを見せ、2勝目の権利を得て予定通りの5回で降板をしました。しかしドジャースは6回に悪夢の継投失敗。2番手のロブレスキー投手が逆転スリーランを浴びるなど大量6失点で大谷投手の白星が消滅。それでも大谷選手は8回の第4打席でライトへ2年連続50号となるソロ本塁打を放つなどドジャースタジアムを大熱狂させる大活躍を見せました。ドジャースは試合に敗れるも大谷選手は MLB 初となる50本塁打50奪三振の50-50を達成させ、両軍の地元局は大谷選手の話題で盛り上がりを見せていました。ここからはその様子を字幕付きでご紹介します。
Well, I think that, if you can go back to February or March, we talked about he was going to have less stolen bases because of just trying to manage the legs, and we've seen that. But in totality, this is a better year. When you bake in the less stolen bases, but you're taking on the pitching, and he's still close to 50 homers. So I think in totality, it's a better season. It's not new. But the drop-off, I don't know his OPS, but just where he's at right now and where I expect him to finish off, I don't think there has been a drop-off at all, to be quite frank, yeah.
Last year with Shohei Ohtani, when we look at just the results, of course, he wanted that 50-50 season. He was able to achieve that. But his approach this year, as much as maybe the power or even the stolen bases, that necessarily wasn't as much of a focus. He did make a few changes, especially when it came to that two-strike approach. Like Dave Roberts was saying earlier today, the stuff he's been seeing from him, it's been consistent, it's been excellent. So for him, he is going to have double duty tonight. Of course, as the pitcher, the hope is for him to get through 5 innings of work. And I know we'll talk about it in a bit, but the hope is that this is a good test for him as he prepares for a postseason run when he's not only just a hitter as the DH, but also as a two-way player on the mound as a pitcher as well, guys.
I think the last time he threw was in Baltimore. So he's got some rest under him. I think he feels good. I know he feels good. And it's going to be a good challenge for him. And, he seems to always, rise to the occasion. But it's going to be another playoff environment tonight. So it's going to be fun. So the plan is for him to get through 5 innings, and then we'll see where we're at after that.
What have you learned about him as a pitcher this year?
What I've learned about Shohei as a pitcher is... he's always very critical of himself, so that kind of rings true as well as a pitcher as far as expecting excellence. I think he has such a good way to manipulate the baseball, making the ball go right to left, making the ball go north-south, incorporating the two-seamer, the four-seamer. So his feel for the baseball is pretty remarkable.
Considering that is... kind of feels strange to ask this, but is today a good test then, or a good experience for him to have going up against a postseason team in which preparing for October as a pitcher then?
Yeah, today's a good test. It's a very well prepared offense. These guys a lot of those guys are veteran hitters. They're gathering information potentially for a rematch. There's a lot of left-hand hitters in the lineup, so it's a good test, yes.
When you look at how just the postseason is set up at the moment for the Dodgers, they could be seeing the Phillies in the NLDS. And with Shohei Ohtani, as much as last year was his first time experiencing the postseason, he only experienced it as a hitter. This year will be the first time him experiencing it as a pitcher. And Andrew Friedman, when he was briefly talking to the media yesterday, he was saying, when you look at how intense the postseason is, what that does to the body, it will be interesting seeing how Shohei Ohtani does handle it. So for him today, going up against a very talented Phillies lineup, as much as the plan for him is only to get through 5 innings of work, today, like Dave Roberts was saying, is going to in fact be a very good test for him, because again, it will be his first time pitching in the postseason, even though he has, of course, had big moments, including in the World Baseball Classic, guys.
And you can tell how much fun he was having last year being in the postseason for the very first time. Kirsten, thank you very much. And he's hoping he gets a chance to pitch once again this year, Jerry, for the first time in the playoffs. And this lineup he's facing tonight, the Phillies have, that'll be very much like a lineup you could see in October.
A really good lineup, and a lineup that it's a veteran lineup that knows how to make adjustments. And Kirsten mentioned he'll probably go only 5 innings, so he's going to see the top of the order a couple times. Looking at Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, those are 2 guys that will look for pitches. Now, maybe sit on pitching at times, so you should know pretty quickly what their approach is at the time, making sure, and it's so important, we say it all the time, to get ahead. And don't be afraid to use that breaking ball early in that first inning and let them know, hey, I'm willing to throw that breaking ball, really any pitch at any time, but he's got to be able to establish a strike zone and get strike 1 so he can feature all his pitches.
Great lineup, but he's faced great lineups before over the course of his career.
Yep.
So that I'm not worried about. The other thing I'm not worried about is the postseason. It's Shohei Ohtani. He rises to the occasion, so I'm really not worried about that. So no matter what kind of lineup or who he faces in the postseason, if he happens to pitch in the postseason, that's not my concern. I think right now my concern more is just the fact that he's had the layoff. We've seen him, just the way they've kind of built him up over the course of this season. But to see how sharp he is today, to see how his rhythm is, to see how he feels on the mound, and see how confident he is in his mechanics. That's really more what I am looking at, because I'm looking at, if we are going to see him in the postseason pitch, you know, how much time does he have in case there's a little bit of rust, which would be understandable. Yeah. It's going, okay, had to get himself ready so he can feel confident going into the postseason with his mechanics, his sharpness, and everything to go out there and take on the lineup.
Last took the mound for the Dodgers on September 5th, and that was a spot start in Baltimore. He just went 3 2/3, filling in for Tyler Glass. Now, that was 11 days ago, Nomar, and he was battling a cold himself as well during that stretch. So he's only pitched 1 time in the last 20 days. Do you have any concerns about how sharp he might be as he takes the mound tonight?
Well, first and foremost, when it comes to Shohei Ohtani, it would not surprise me if he shows no signs of rust. I mean, it's the big show. Yeah. This guy's unbelievable, and he's doing things that make us, you know, marvel day after day, each and every time he's out there. But at the same time, it would be understandable if he is rusty, if he is a little bit off in mechanics, or he's trying to find those, if his pitches aren't as sharp. So it would be understandable. We talked about that question earlier, or asked a question about him in the postseason and role, and I said, right now I'm worried about, is there enough runway here to make sure that he's sharp so he can feel confident going into the postseason. So that's really what I'm looking at today. Is that sharpness there? Is he fighting his mechanics? Is he nice and fluid and ready to go? If he is, like I said, would not surprise me.
There's so many great players in this game today, especially at Dodger Stadium today. Got so many Hall of Famers. Bryce Harper. I think Kyle Schwarber will be a Hall of Famer as well. Shohei Ohtani has a chance to go 1, 2, 3, and then lead off the first inning with a home run. Think about that for a second. That's how incredible athlete he has been and is. So it wouldn't surprise me if he goes out there and absolutely deals. Now, obviously, we talked about it earlier. This is a very impressive Phillies lineup. But when Shohei Ohtani is on, he'll run up that fastball 100, 101, and have a devastating breaking ball as well. So he could be tough to deal with for the hitters.
Let's talk more about this pitching matchup we referenced. Christopher Sanchez is second to just Paul Skeens in ERA and Ohtani. Ohtani's, I think he's having a better year pitching than people are even giving him credit for.
Well, I mean, you think about it. He hasn't been, you know, pitching for very long, but what he's been able to do, and especially the adjustments that he's made the last 2 starts, look at the numbers, the 8.2 innings pitched, just the 1 earned run, and that 1.61 opponent batting average has been so dominant. But you talk about dominance, Christopher Sanchez, last 3 starts, 0.85 whip. I mean, his dominance with just a sinker and a changeup. Occasional slider. He's been one of the best pitchers in all of baseball.
Yes, he is. And a big matchup tonight as Shohei Ohtani had a double and 2 walks last night. He has 49 home runs this season. He's the favorite to win his 4th career MVP award. And tonight, he's going to pitch. This will be his first career start against the Phillies. Wow, to think about that. Ricky, how excited are you to watch this guy pitch here tonight?
I don't know about excited. I think it's one of those things you try to run him out of there as quickly as you can. He's trying to work up a pitch count. He only threw, I believe, 70 pitches in his last start. I think there is a beneficial part to this. He doesn't hit very well when he's pitching. I mean, he's got 12 I believe it's 12 starts this year. Does have 11 RBIs when he swings the bat at that point. But the other thing is he's only hitting 217, so 10 for 46, so that's good. But, I mean, when you look at him, I think the one thing you want to do is make him come over to plate early on the count, and I think you could attack him early on the count because he's got 7 different pitches. You don't really want to be in the 0-2, 1-2 counts with him.
All right, Ben, what are you expecting from this first pitch appearance here for Shohei Ohtani against the Phils?
Well, I think you're going to see the Phillies be a little bit aggressive against this guy. Obviously, the four-seamer, he throws it sits at 98 miles an hour. He probably will touch 100 a few times tonight. But, you know, I think it's when Ricky pointed out that to me before the game about the splits, 306 righties, and lefties are hitting only 167 against this guy. I would have thought it'd been the complete opposite. So if I'm a righty in this lineup, I'm going to make him beat me in. I'm going to be diving out over that plate because he just doesn't like to throw righties in a whole lot. So I'd be diving out over that plate looking for something I can drive to right center.
Ruben, I guess there's good and bad going on tonight. You got Shohei Ohtani on the mound, which is the bad news. The good news is he doesn't swing the bat particularly well when he does pitch. What do we expect from this guy?
Well, I mean, he's going to give you everything you got for those 3 or 4 innings or whatever he's going to throw. I mean, he's maxed out at 80 pitches, so I'm not really sure. He hasn't pitched for a little while. Whether he's going to be up to, 60, 70, 80 pitches, how many he's going to throw will depend on how effective he is. But he's got swing and miss stuff, Ricky, man. His breaking stuff, his slider, four-seamer. He's got one of the best arms in baseball, and he's going to be gunning, I think, a little bit. He's got a little extra juice there pitching against Kyle Schwarber, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes first time the Phillies are facing him.
Will be opposed by Dodgers right-hander Shohei Ohtani. He'll lead off and pitch for the Dodgers tonight. He has a 3.75 ERA in 12 starts this season. Ben, we mentioned it earlier. This will be Ohtani's first career start against the Phillies. How should the Phillies approach it?
Lead off and pitch. What are we in high school? Is this Little League we're playing here? This guy really is a unicorn. But as Ricky mentioned earlier, he does throw 7 pitches. You can't go up there looking for 7 different pitches. Pick out one, always hit off the fastball. Pick out a pitch that you like, and you have to protect. Until you get to 2 strikes, you're looking for your pitch in your particular location. You get 3 strikes for a reason, but you just can't go up there swinging everything when a guy throws 7 different pitches, and he will throw them all. The percentages are up there, but I do think that, you can look for that 2-seamer and the cutter, especially, both batting average over 500 on those 2 particular pitches.
I've never seen a warm-up like that. Whatever he was just doing, I was absolutely stunned at whatever he was just doing because I've never seen that before.
Maybe you should have tried that.
A little stop and go. No, I just tried to rip my arm off. That's the way I pitched. Oh. Hair on fire, go.
It worked.
And I did have a lot of hair back then.
Shohei Ohtani has made it look easy tonight. No hits over 4 scoreless innings, just 1 base runner against him. He has struck out 4 in this game. Let's go down to Kirsten.
Thanks, Joe. Well, when it comes to Shohei Ohtani and his pitching plan, Dave Roberts has been very adamant that the focus has been getting him through 5 innings of work. But when you look at his pitch count tonight, only at 56 pitches. The most he has thrown this year is 87 pitches. That was on August 27th against the Reds. And recently, when Dave Roberts was asked just about the starting rotation when it comes to the postseason, how they're going to push the rotation, the starters, he did say that he wants to see his starters getting deep into the game, whether it's that 6 innings of work. Come October, obviously, the expectations are a little bit different. But with Shohei, the big question tonight will be, will they push him past 5, considering where his pitch count is at? Dave Roberts and Mark Pryor, we're having a conversation, so we'll see what happens in this one tonight, guys.
Forget the pitch count. We're talking about history here. Let's go, which is becoming routine. How about this? This is the 4th time in the last 10 games that the Dodgers starter has gone into the 5th having not given up a hit.
It's incredible, especially the run when the Dodgers have needed it. And could not be at a better time, too. Talking to Andrew Friedman even before the game about just every year it's a different plan, different idea. I mean, last year was almost last man standing. Who's not injured? Hey, can you go in and pitch? And the way the starting rotation looks right now, you've got options that can now go to the bullpen. That has definitely been the highlight the last month of the season.
0-2 on Otto Kemp. Ohtani deals. Kemp takes high. Maybe even more remarkable than the fact that 4 of the last 10 games have gone into the 5th having not given up a hit. 9 of the last 10, 0 or 1 hit going into the 5th. Only 1 time in the last 10 games have they given up more than 1 hit over the first 4 innings.
It's dominance, and it's from the get-go. And we've seen length because of it. We've seen pitchers go longer than they would normally go, and right now there's a decision to be made. Dave Roberts, just what Kirsten was talking about, not just because of the amount of pitches, but the zeros on the board right now.
That they have, as a team, have adopted early. Ohtani gets a wave and a miss on a slider right there for his 5th K. And the first out of the 5th inning.
Goes to the slider, and look at the bend. Talk about horizontal break on Sanchez. How about the vertical break of this? 12+ inches away from the barrel, no chance.
One away for Kepler. Fastball just misses. It's not supposed to be possible. It's only impossible until somebody does it. Here's the pitcher leading off for the Dodgers. They lead 4-0. And we continue to marvel. 1 ball, no strikes. 5 no-hit innings, 5 strikeouts, just 1 base runner. At the plate, 1 for 2 to extend his on-base streak to 21 games, and he's 1 swing away from a 50 home run campaign. Becoming the first guy since Alex Rodriguez almost a quarter century ago to have back-to-back 50 home run seasons. I'll have to double check, but I don't think A-Rod pitched.
Google that real quick.
Look for number 50 right there.
Just had an image of Alex pitching, though, and that makes me smile. Shohei right behind him.
The 1-2 from Sanchez. Ohtani swings and misses. Strike 3. Kirsten?
Yeah, Joel, in between innings, Dave Roberts went up to Shohei Ohtani as he was getting his batting gear on. And he said, how do you feel? You know, you want to get back out there? And it was funny because Shohei then was like, no, it's up to you. And he goes, okay, but do you feel good? He said, I do, but ultimately it does sound like they are going to be going to the bullpen. Justin Robleski did get up and is now warming up. And even Freddie Freeman and Dave, they were laughing and having a conversation. And Freddie was teasing him, was like, ooh, I know you look stressed out over there with that decision. But ultimately, getting Shohei through 5 was the most important thing, guys.
Well, here's the thing. He's not going to go 9, right? So even though he's got a no-hitter going, 9 is not going to happen. So if 6 wasn't an important box to check, he's happy with the work that he's gotten in here, then mission accomplished.
Well, I think he was looking for Shohei. If he was like adamant, like, no, like, I got the good stuff tonight, Doc, like, keep me in this game. But then it even gets a harder decision as the game progresses.
Deepest that Ohtani's gone, for the record, 7 2/3. No-hit innings against the A's a few years back. And he'll have opportunities to do that in the future, but Dodgers being very cautious and cognizant of the fact that he's taken on this 2-way load for the first time in 2 years and coming off the arm surgery. Cognizant of that and more focused on what's ahead, making sure that he's got a full tank for when it matters most. Ohtani to lead off the 8th. And David Robertson, who was able to close it down last night, is on to pitch.
17 years in the bigs. Huge night for him last night. He talked about, you mentioned, you know, sitting on his couch just a few months ago. He said he was actually a taxi cab helping out at the school, making lunches for his kids, and then just realized, you know what, I've got more to give.
High fly ball to deep right field. 5 no-hit innings on the mound and a skyscraping home run. There's nobody like him. Never has been. Doubtful there ever will be. It is his 50th of the year. Back-to-back 50 home run seasons to begin his time with the Dodgers. And he's got him within 1 here in the 8th.
Oh, that pitch was located, Joe. I mean, it was up and in, off the plate, the bat speed. Just aggressive swinging that you see Shohei, but look at the bend that he can get with his body to get to a ball. cutting into his hands and then sky high. See the apex on this thing. Just sit back, Shohei, and watch this beauty. Home run number 50.
Turning point of the game.
All right, so 6 outs to go for the Phils. They go with David Robertson here in the 8th inning, his 17th game. He picked up the save yesterday. Ohtani smokes one. It's a one-run game. That is a towering home run. It's number 50. Back-to-back 50 home run seasons for Ohtani. And it's a 6-5 game. That's why the Kepler home run was so big.
Yeah, well, this Dodger team is not going to roll over. I mean, they got some firepower of their own. David Robertson tries to throw that cutter in on Ohtani, but you don't get it in. He gets his hands to it, and he absolutely tattooed this ball. I think he do it.
50 home runs is no joke. To do it in back-to-back seasons is still really impressive.
Ohtani 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts in his career against Robertson. The 1-0 pitch. Ohtani launches high in the air. Deep right field. Number 50 emphatically leaves the yard. On a night he started the game and threw 5 no-hit innings, he then comes up to the plate in the 8th and launches home run number 50 on the season. It went 430 feet, and we got a 1-run game.
And it's a nice beginning. Now you need some runners. Get some runners on base. 1-run game and try and turn the tables.
This is 3 times in 4 days for Robertson. Not the worst, but 1-0 pitch. Swung on, hit high in the air, deep right field. That is on its way. That's number 50 for Ohtani. To the back of the Phillies bullpen. Shohei Ohtani, back-to-back 50 homer seasons. And a solo shot makes it a 1-run game here in the bottom of the 8th, 6-5 Phillies.
Yeah, and I think that the reason that D-Rod, this is just me, is in there in this situation is because there's nobody on base and it's Ohtani. Now you have a couple of righties coming up. If that's last inning with a couple of guys on base, I'm not sure that David Robertson enters that game to face him.
That was why Tanner Banks had been warming
That's
before.
what I think, yes.
I just I was wondering, were you pretty happy to see Ohtani come out of the game because things started to explode?
Yeah, he was throwing
that.
no hitter, I think. No hitter, perfect game. I don't know what happened, but that's what the Phillies been doing like all year. Like, don't give up. Like we know like we have like a chance at the end of the game, so we just try to stay on the game as much as possible, and that's what we did.
You mentioned that no-hitter up until the 6th inning. This is the reason why Shohei Ohtani was excellent in this game, Ricky.
I thought he was just sharp. I mean, he had a really good fastball that had a lot of jump. He kept the Phillies off balance. He had good movement. His sweeper was actually really good, and I hate this the thing called a sweeper, but it was really good. It had really good movement across the plate. There you see a slider that he was throwing. No, I guess that's a sweeper, but I mean, this guy's nasty.
Nasty curveball.
I mean, it's pretty amazing that a guy that could be that good hitting a baseball and playing in the field all of a sudden could be this good on the mound. I mean, we don't get to see him all that much here on the East Coast, but what he threw out there tonight was, I'll just say it was dominant.
And ho-hum, he hit his 50th homer of the year as well.
Yeah, just for giggles.
It's not normal, people. He is that. Mark Gubazal gave him the nickname, the Angels color commentary out there, the unicorn. He is a unicorn.
Yeah.
There's nobody like him anywhere on the planet, nor will there ever be anyone like him anywhere on the planet. This guy is amazing. I mean, he's hitting .282 with 50 homers, 94 RBIs, and he's got a 3.29 ERA. It's not like he's a really good hitter and like a so-so pitcher. He's a mediocre pitcher. This guy's coming back from Tommy John, and he's starting to accumulate more innings. But you don't see stuff like this. That's why I said before the game, it's like, what are we in Little League? Is this a high school game where the guy pitches 5 innings and then goes play shortstop and hits 3 homers?
It was almost funny.
Unbelievable.
It's almost funny because you and I played in the day where the pitchers hit, but I mean, this is a little different now. I mean, it almost feels weird when you look out there, you see a pitcher with dirt all over the side of his pants because he's been sliding around the bases on top of it. But he's legit. Ben and I both know it's not easy to play at the big league level. One position let alone doing both. I mean, that's something special, although he's getting paid well for it.
As he should.
You guys are hoping to see something, learn something from Ohtani, facing Ohtani for the first time. What were your impressions? What were you hearing?
We thought that he was pretty good. You know, because he is. But you know, just seeing the shapes of his pitches and just seeing it live, I think it should help a little bit.
Was there any more excitement pitching against Ohtani? You know, you don't hit against him, but was there any extra adrenaline rush or anything like that?
No, tú sabes que uno siempre se mantiene enfocado con el plan de uno y no trata de hacer el trabajo de uno sin fijarse en lo demás porque eso le trae distracción a uno.
No, not really. You know, we're just focusing on our plans and executing our plans, and we're not trying to think too much about.
Sería incómodo decir que no, pero es tremendo, tú sabes, tremendo jugador, tremendo pitcher, tremendo bateador. Eso está de más.
Yeah. So we were out there to execute our plan, and you know, we don't really think about who's on the other side. We just have to execute whatever we want to do because we don't want any distractions in that. But you know, it would be a lie to say that he's not a tremendous player, a tremendous hitter, a tremendous pitcher. Like he just is.
I mean, yeah, I mean he's really, really good. He has like 6 pitches he can command whenever, however, whatever he wants, and he had his stuff tonight. So you know, just tip the cap and just try to get to the bullpen and did what we did. So yeah, you know, he had his stuff. You tip your cap to a guy like that and just try to grind out the rest of the game.
A lot of these guys saw him for the first time, but you've never played.
Yeah.
So I mean, you included. How much, just generally speaking, seeing a pitcher one time, how much can that help you the next time you face him? Because you could face him again in the post.
For sure. I'm a believer of the more you see a guy, the more comfortable you get. Even when he has X amount of pitches that he has, plus pitches. So it's, but yeah, I'm glad we saw him tonight. So down the road, we have a better understanding and feeling for him.
Shohei, when you look at your outing tonight, 5 innings of no-hit work, the home run, the results on both sides of the ball, just how did you find navigating through their lineup, and how important is this an outing for you as you do prepare to pitch come October?
登板振り返ってみて、この打線、プレーオフに向けてのそのピッチングとかっていうのは何か考えていることありますかと。プラン通り投げれたかなっていうのが印象的だったのかというか、初めて組んだバッテリーでしたけど、すごいスムーズに、お互いの意図っていうのを理解しながら一人一人抑えたんじゃないかなっていう印象ですかね。It felt like everything went according to the plan this outing. Working with Ben today just felt like we were on the same page throughout the whole game, and it was pretty impressive to be able to come up with a really good game plan.
The pitch count was in a really good spot. I know that I saw Dave ask you if you wanted to keep going, how you were feeling. Just with that limitation of getting through 5 innings of work, how challenging is that just for you as a competitor and also moving forward, understanding you are still coming back off of that Tommy John surgery, but also wanting to be out there for your team?
まだリハビリの過程、の中で、その復帰するっていうあたりに関してまた監督にもう1イニング投げるかとか聞かれてますが、その難しさっていうかありますかねと。限られた中で球数も抑えながら、打ち取った打球をしっかりまずアウトに立ってもらったっていうのが一番球数を抑えれた要因かなとは思うので、その中で、球数もイニングももちろん伸ばしていけるに越したことはないですし、前回がちょっと特殊な登板だったので、少しステップが、遅れたというかっていうのはあるとは思うんですけど、1イニングでも長く一人でも多く投げれるに越したことはないかなとは思ってます。In terms of today, I think every ball that was hit ended up being an out, so I think that really helped with the pitch count. And I think considering my last outing was a little bit unique and abnormal, so in a way, I had to make up some ground, but couldn't really pitch away the amount of innings I wanted to ideally.
Did you feel like you could pitch into the 6th? And is that something that you would ideally, come October, want to be in a position where you could pitch beyond 5 innings?
6回は投げたかったですか？それとプレーオフに向けて6回は投げれるようにはなりたいですか？そうですね、もちろん今も言いましたけど、一人でも多く投げたいという気持ちはもちろんありますし、ただ僕がどこで終わるかもそうですし、どこまで行くかっていうのを決めるわけではないので、 フロントの判断であったりとか、監督が言ってほしいっていうっていうのであればいけるように努力しますし、もう下がってほしいっていうのであればそれに従うっていうのが、選手としてはその立場ではあるので、いつでもどんな状況でも投げれる状態っていうのはまず作りたいなと思っています。
As a player, I do want to pitch as long as possible, but I also understand and respect the decision that the front office and the manager makes, and ultimately that's what a player is supposed to do, is to make sure that you fulfill the role, give the given role that you're assigned. But again, as a player, you always want to pitch as long as possible.
Given conversation with Shohei by the dugout railing there in the fifth, and how did you make the decision?
Well, he wasn't going to go back out. We've been very steadfast in every situation as far as inning for his usage, from 1 inning to 2 innings to 3 to 4 to 5. We haven't deviated from that. So I was trying to get his pulse on for going forward, where he's at, continuing to go to the 6th inning. And he says, feel okay. And so that was good. But I'm not going to have a, plan for 5 innings and then he pitches well and say, hey, now you're going to go 6 innings. And then, he's too important. And if something does happen, then that's on me for changing it. And we haven't done that all year. So I'm not going to do that right now. So, yeah. I would have loved to have him go out there, but if the conversation was, if he's efficient, he can go to the 6th inning, that's a different conversation. But it was a hard 5 innings, and that's just the way it goes, and guys have got to do their jobs.
So just to make sure the conversation was not so much about gathering into for that start, but for the future.
For the future, yeah. That's what my decision was already going to be done. So I'm trying to get a gauge on him going out there, and he's open to whatever. But if I don't have that conversation, this is a different situation. It's been different this whole year. And so he's 2 players in 1. And for me to try to do something and deviate, and if something happens, then we lose 2 players. And so if the conversation isn't had, I'm not going to do it. We haven't done it all year. So I'm not going to do it tonight.
There's a night like this, when you start to look ahead to October, kind of raise, when you guys figure out how far you can push them in.
Yeah, I mean, if there's conversations that of the powers that be, and Shohei included, if everyone's in the conversation saying, hey, we'll push them, that's a different conversation. But, what I knew going in is that he was going to be 5 innings. So that's where it stops.
Arco top-tier stat line, Jerry. It's Shohei Ohtani with his 50th home run tonight. It gave him 50 home runs, 50 strikeouts as a pitcher in the same season. Nobody in the history of the game had ever done that, so another 50-50 club for the Big Show.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a theme with Shohei Ohtani. Nobody ever doing what he has done. To be able to do that on the mound and also at the plate, he is must-see TV. Another great game for the Big Show, a great accomplishment as well.
Dodgers lose 9-6, the final score, but the Big Show, Shohei Ohtani, his pitching prowess again showed tonight. Nomar, he was brilliant for 5 innings.
Yeah, the question asked before the game, what are we looking for Shohei? What are we concerned about? Is he going to be rusty? We wanted to see if he was going to be able to repeat his mechanics, see if he was going to be in rhythm, and also see if he had the sharpness to his pitches. But we're going to go to the K zone, and all those questions were answered. He was in rhythm. He was consistent with his mechanics, and he had a sharpness to his off-speed pitch. We know he had the four-seamer, so there's life to that going at you at 102. But there's the slider. Just a great location with the slider. Sharpness, late break there, up in the zone, getting the call. Mechanics consistent, rhythm consistent, everything looking exactly the same out of his hand. As a hitter, you're trying to see if there's something I can pick up. Maybe the ball pops out of his hand. Maybe there's a little bit difference in his mechanics. Everything looked the same. Now, here he comes again. There's the slider going away. Great location with that slider. And then when you're looking for an off-speed pitch, he just dots a four-seamer on the inner half. Once again, the mechanics, the rhythm, all in sync. Everything looking great. Nothing is off. Said it wouldn't surprise us if he was spot on once again. And now here's another breaking ball where it starts, and the break looking like a strike, breaking off of the play underneath the hand. I mean, that's just a totally different bite now. But the curveball and the slider look exactly the same coming out of his hand. Now they're getting the swing and miss. This is why he was just so dominant. Because in your head, you're thinking 102, and then he throws things like that look exactly alike, and they just dart in different ways.
I mean, what are we looking at? Seriously, this kid, look, I can't believe he called me kid, maybe because I'm an old man. Dominant. And he's also our leadoff hitter who just hit 50 home runs. And we've talked about in the past, can he close also? To be in the bullpen, just an incredible athlete.
It was a great night for Shohei Ohtani on the individual side.
What were you saying wasn't either working for you or that just allowed them to get to you tonight?
I don't know. My brain's kind of scrambled at the moment, to be honest with you. Don't really have a lot to dig into yet. I'll have some time to review it. Sometimes you look back and you try to understand like what's going on, and you try to pinch yourself when things aren't going well. A lot of us have had our moments this year, and sometimes there's no words, no reason to describe it. I know it's frustrating to the fans. I mean, I can promise you from the bottom of our hearts, we're trying our darndest every single night. There's nothing we haven't done. There's no stone we haven't unturned. It's not an effort thing. It's not a preparation thing. It is literally just sometimes things aren't working. And, you know, I wish for their sake, for our team, for our organization, ownership, that, you know, I'm better in my spots. I know.
Where were you that you were stepping into a no-hitter?
I mean, I don't really look at things like that. My job is to go in there and get outs. You know, whether it's a no-hitter or not, my goal is always the same, to go out there and you know, get the guy that I'm facing and just take it a hitter at a time, a pitch at a time. And yeah, unfortunately tonight it didn't go my way, but Shohei obviously pitched great, hit great as always. So.
いかがでしたでしょうか。このチャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーなどを中心に野球情報をお届けしています。この動画が良かったら高評価、チャンネル登録をよろしくお願いいたします。今回も最後までご覧いただきありがとうございました。それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。